Hey guys, Tbull here. Today we're going to be taking a look at the new Japanese Destroyer Commander Sano. Base trade, increased destroyer speed and incoming dispersion. Slot 3 perk, this is one we're interested in. Increase the torpedo speed dramatically, decrease the range dramatically. So we're basically making it, Yudachifying our destroyer. What are we going to put that on? Of course, the least competitive build possible. The Yudachi itself. Look at the torp range on this, 5.5. 87 knots, nothing to sneeze at. Now we got Fishman on there as well. But at tier 7, 5.5 torp range is pretty dicey, as they say. Here we're attacking the Hipper, though. Quick clip here, and then we'll do a full game analysis next. Hipper trying to disengage. Normally, I think he'd be able to get out of here, no problem. Even with normal Yudachi torps, I think he'd have a pretty good shot at this. You know, he's pulling forward. Not really expecting a strike from the his right-hand side here, but it's going to be coming in hot. Now, I did the numbers here. We got about a 7.5 second reaction time on this, which is bigger than a lot. You know, the low type reaction times tend to be about, mid to high 5s, and 6-second reaction time average. Reaction time is the difference between how long the torpedoes appear on their screen, and the faster the torpedoes go, generally the better, or the higher the detection of the torps is. So they'll have a little bit more time to react to them. It's a off-game formula that you can run that we've covered in the past. Anyway, even with that reaction time, the things are coming in so hot that it's still very hard to dodge. Here we're pushing in. We're moving into a Friesland now. He's in the American smoke. We figure he's probably got about a minute left, and we see him shooting there. So I'm hoping to get in range here, checking how far we are, and it looks... we zoom in with the guns. Okay, we're not quite there. We got to get a little bit closer. Switch the gun side, and we see the Iowa coming up behind them as well. So this is basically how close you have to get. Why is it a problem? Well, tier 7, you got radars galore. All the tier 7, well, not all of them, but a lot of the tier 7 cruisers have radars. A lot of the legendaries, and even some of the tier 6 cruisers. So you're going to be running into those, and if you're this close, you're going to have a hard time not paying attention to the map here. We're so focused on what's going on with these. Trying to get a double strike, actually, but you can see we're getting surrounded on the map, so that's why this is a short clip. Miss the Friesland. You can see stop shooting. That means the guys were no longer spotted, and he's like, okay, what should I do now? Back up. Almost nuke the Iowa. Get him with 3 torps there. The flood does not stick, and then the gunshots resume, and I don't know if the Friesland necessarily knows we're here or not. But he probably heard some beeping on the screen, but he resumed shooting nonetheless. And here's the spread we probably should have done in the first place. Tried to double stack on the Friesland first, then reload the torps and go nuke the Iowa. That would have kept us safe here, because you can see we're not paying attention to the Bismarck and the Wichita. We do clip the Friesland with 2 torps there, but of course the game, for us at least, ends shortly thereafter. We sit in the smoke, try and get out of there. Wichita radars us, and then we die. Next game here, more radar trouble. We only got 1 cruiser on the enemy team that has the radar. Of course, it's Cleveland over here. You can always say to yourself, or you could say to me, well, why are you pushing into these radar cruisers? You should know better. All right, fair enough. But we're just out here trying to see what we can do with this thing. But that's the pitfall of this. I'm trying to get close enough that this Cleveland's actually going to be tempted to come around the bend, and maybe we can hit him with the torps here. Get spotted briefly after the Z-23 comes around. And this is a random team. I checked a little bit later in the game, and the Z-23 is actually not in the division here. So he's doing this for his teammate. He's smoking up the cruiser, which is a very strong play. The reason I very rarely do it in randoms is because almost always your teammates won't utilize it. Okay, but we continue to be spotted here because we did shoot at the Z-23 once. And then the Cleveland, you're going to actually see some shots coming right on the line of those torps. But they run out before they can smack them there. So we're going to take a little bit of damage there. And then we're going to evaluate the situation. Okay, it's me and a Scharnhorst versus a Z-23 with the smoke sonar combo. He didn't use the smoke sonar combo. And the Cleveland has the radar. He did fire off the radar once there. Luckily, we kind of anticipated the play and got out of there as quick as we could. So we didn't get too banged up over there because of it. But between those two and the Georgia behind them, what are we going to do? So I can either push in there more recklessly than previously and probably die, or we can pop the speed boost, go over and try and support B. You can see we already captured C, and B is kind of contested here. They do have a Richie pushing in there, but, you know, as of right now, he's not yet on the cap. So I'm thinking maybe we can go actually get some stuff done on B. Of course, we'd like to get A secured first, but we just don't have the ability to do so. Okay, so we're moving over here. How would this build actually work? Well, you need destroyers that have better range. Okay, you don't want to necessarily run it on the Screamer build. Yudachi, yes, you do get Super Screamers, which are fun to use, but your teammates might be like, why is my bloomin' destroyer dying early every single game? You know, you're just going to be part of the problem. I think if you actually want to run a build like this, you need division mates who understand, okay, we need to kill the radars, you know, around this guy, because your random teammates just really struggle with the concept. We all know they don't like to shoot destroyers, which is the most important target, and then the radar cruisers, a very close 1A, 1B scenario there. So that's where the difficulty lies, is running this thing as a random player. Moving in the Richie here, you can see with the aim indicator, he's slamming on the brakes, hoping to deliver these down range fast enough that maybe they clip them anyways. And this is how fast these torps get on target. You don't have a lot of time to react, even though they'll be on your screen for, you know, 7.5 seconds before they actually reach where your ship is. But that said, they're traveling so fast that it's still problematic. So here we get them, stick them with a flood. A better play than what we're doing here would be to pull back to the south side of the base. I'm trying to kill them as quickly as possible, though, because we got the Z-23 threat and we got the Cleveland threat. They're going to be coming this way soon. So I want to get this cap actually secured. Hold on to the second salvo because we know we've already killed him there. I don't like to split up my salvos normally, but in this case, we just need to be able to protect ourselves. More shots from the Cleveland there. Good awareness from him shooting the enemy destroyers. It's a beautiful play. Unfortunately, it's for the wrong team. And so we pull down here, make sure he doesn't have a shot at us. We got to assume his radar is going to be reloaded soon. Okay, if you're super brain player, you can actually count from when the radar you know, dries up or stops being effective initially. Note what time it is on the top of the screen there, and then count down the reload of the radar. I don't know that. I can't memorize radar reloads, and I can't keep track of time very well, so none of that works for me. I just go under the assumption, okay, it's been a little while. The guy's probably got the radar. Stay the heck away from him. So we're keeping an eye on him. We'll ping him every time the radio actually turns back on for us, but to no avail. He's taking a little bit of damage here, but of course, as long as that radar cruises over here, we can't really be doing anything too aggressive here. So at this point in time, I got two options, and there he burns his second radar. Luckily, we got this island in between us. I'm worried about the Z-23, though, but we do get out of his range there. But anyway, the two options are we can kind of hover around B and try and spot/defend. We could even move south and try and light those targets coming up from the southwest. But again, the C-23's unknown position concerning to me, low health situation concerning to me, and the fact that those ships really haven't been challenged that much. All those are leading me to consider, okay, what else are our options? Well, we do have other battleships here, and we're actually considering either going north, which normally we wouldn't want to be going off to nuke battleships, but we don't have a lot of plays we can really make here. The Odin is pushing in, though, so I'm thinking maybe we can get over here. Luckily, our ships over there take him off the board, and now we're just like, okay, well, we'll try and spot this Cleveland who potentially is playing. You know, you can see the golden showers coming in from him. Ideally, I'd like to spot him, and maybe we could nuke one of these battleships at the same time. That actually is a pretty decent play in this case because of the crossfire position. You know, those guys coming from the southwest, they're going to begin to envelop our team, and then they're forced to angle against one or the other. So getting rid of some of these guns up north, not completely worthless. Again, we do have the 2 cap advantage, and we're trying to defend mainly B. Okay, now the destroyer on the northeast did get away. He did get away with full health, and that's actually going to come back to bite our team in the butt severely because that's going to divide our attention. Nevertheless, we're trying to get as close as we can with this Georgia here, and every time we go in torpedo mode, look at the white ring basically right on top of the blue ring. So if he's backing up, not an issue, but someone's shooting at him, so now he springs forward, and that's when we can get those torps on target. And again, you're not going to miss a lot of the torps with this configuration. I mean, they got to be very, very actively dodging, but we just kind of predicted, okay, he's getting shot, he's going to gun the engine forward, and by the time he starts thinking about anything else, these torps will be ripping his ship to shreds there, which of course they do. Not a Hegon moment because he was less, didn't have a lot of health left, but nevertheless, we did take him off the board there. Now we got a problem. They got the destroyer back on C, and then they got a bunch of guys pulling, into B, basically. So I can go over to C, try and fight whatever destroyer it is. I should check the game roster. But I'm like, okay, I'm a half-health Yudachi. Fighting a destroyer, not necessarily what I want to be doing here. And here's where the action is. Here's where all the teammates are for red except for the destroyer. So if we can kill one, maybe even two targets over here, that would, again, alleviate some of the pressure on our team. So we do get within range of the Georgia. Notice that he is beginning to turn in here right when our torps are about to reload. And we're cutting it very close here, obviously. But because we noticed that, we're going to go ahead and fire them on there. Z23 spotted. We'll go ahead and shoot and then immediately pop the smoke. I don't know if that was the right play or not either. I'd have to think about that one for a little bit. Maybe you got an opinion you want to let me know in the comments. But nevertheless, we can disengage successfully, and then we do get another couple of torps there on the Georgia, and looks like he's got a flood that's stuck on there as well. So, we're just going to get away from there. The game isn't over. We're probably not going to win on score just due to the map control, and the cap control obviously is a major problem, so we kind of have to kill everything over here. Unfortunately, Akazuki did escape earlier with full health, and unfortunately and kind of bizarrely, he's actually shooting back at us. A lot of Japanese destroyer players do not ever fire the guns, but he wisely chimes in. He's going to try and disengage here, perhaps, but he's at least shooting at us. I don't know if he has a smoke to use right now or not, but, we do have teammates that are shooting at him at this point in time. We're trying to hit him with the guns, trying to do whatever we can do, but that's going to do it for that one. So you can see the damage ticking up. I mean, you can have fun with this build. Again, I don't think putting the Yudachi Fire perk on the Yudachi at tier 7, probably not the smartest build known to man. Don't run this build if you're playing for big bucks, but if you want to have fun, and I think, once again, if you do have reliable division mates that understand, okay, if we can kill all the radar cruisers around this guy, then we really alleviate a lot of the pressure on it, and the build can actually be unleashed. But again, run it on Kagero, Shima, Akatsuki, ships that have good range anyways. And then you're going to be bringing the range down to like Yudachi levels, but you're going to be spicing up the speed. So that's kind of the gist of that build, and that's the look at it for you. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. New to the channel, consider subscribing. We got lots of World of Warships that's coming all the time for you. Questions, comments, leave them below. I do love to hear from you guys, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.